What's up, everybody? We're back with another interview. This one's gonna be really special because this guy's a fucking demon. You can either love him or hate him. Most of us love him. We just don't want to admit it. His name's Tim. He's a demon trader, maximally extracting Solana from the trenches on a daily basis. And yeah, man, let's get started, man. How you doing, Tim?
Doing good. Thanks for the introduction. That was very nice.
Yeah, man. Well, you're definitely a demon. I mean, besides when you're flooding every coin, which, to be honest, most coins are trash. Seeing what you did yesterday was kind of wild, but we don't have to go right into that. But yeah, man, tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, how long have you been trading? How'd you get into it?
So I played Fortnite like most people, and I did NFTs back in the day, and then made a little bit off that. Did school and pretty much nothing. Then last summer, like towards the end, like some of my friends from NFTs started doing meme coins. Like I looked into it, and like everyone, I was pretty shit at the start. I like lost I put in like 10 soul, lost it, 10 soul, lost it, and then put in another 10 soul, and haven't had to redepot since.
Damn. So you just were watching, like you're in the Fortnite comp, so you saw all the other Fortnite people just like start printing out of nowhere, and you're like, shit, bro, I gotta get in on this.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So when you started, you already had like mutuals that were trading that to help you like understand like what you should even be looking for and stuff?
Yeah, I had friends from NFTs, so they let me learn from them because they had started in like March or whatever.
Damn, so you've been trading since then. How long did it take for you got that like big P&L that you're like, holy shit, I gotta, like, this has to be my life?
Honestly, I remember my first 100 soul P&L. It was like 2 months in, and
that's just like you woke up one day and you're like, holy fuck, I'm getting an M4 comp, I'm getting a fucking Rolex.
Honestly, no, I don't spend money at all.
Yeah, you're humble. You're saving like Cupsy.
Yeah, trying to be like Cupsy. That's the goal.
That's the goal, right? Nah, you gotta be like Tim, because honestly, we all have our own journeys and stories, and you have no idea how far we can go with it. But yeah, Cupsy's a demon, bro. Because he's not just like locked in with saving money. He goes to the gym, he cooks his own food. Like it's actually everything.
I know, it's insane. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, man. Some people are just locked. So, and you've been cooking for a while. When you first did anything change when you started winning? Like, was there something that like you flipped a switch and you're like, damn, I was doing that wrong, and you started making that just change and you started printing like every day green all the time?
Honestly, it wasn't. It was like I flipped the switch because I was just in this like zone of I would go from 10 soul. I ranged from 10 soul to 50 soul like in my port for a month, and I could never break out. And then eventually I just lost it all, and I put more money in. And I tried to be like very disciplined. I started like journaling every day, which I think really helped me at the start. I like logged every single one of my trades, which is still something I do today. And
just getting feedback from it, seeing, you know, if there was maybe something you saw was extra bullish that now that you're looking back, it was just mid, like you always say.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started, or when I like really wanted to take it serious, I still to this day log every trade. But I would, at the end of each day, I would go back and look at every trade, like just which ones I made money on, which ones I lost money on, and think like why I made money, why I lost money, things like that, just to, you know, try and learn, like notice patterns.
That's fucking sick. What would you say is your biggest ever loss? Like, has there been a catastrophic like loss for you?
My biggest loss was like 20K, and it was such a stupid loss. It was on like it was around Trump coin time, and I bought a like coin called MAGA coin, and I was in it for like 2 days, which is longer than I ever hold anything. And I just kind of forgot about it because I was so busy. It was peak bull market, so I was doing so many things, trading so many coins. I kind of just forgot about it, and then came back, and all of a sudden I was down 20K.
Damn. Yeah, so it was just one of the, and you never forgot about a coin again after that, right? That was an expensive lesson.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I've had some unfortunate things happen to me before. Like, a lot of people know this story, but there's this coin where I knew it was related to the Pump Fund mobile app, and I knew it was going to come out because they had updated stuff in the App Store, and I knew the coin that was shown there. So I had 30% of the supply at 50K, and then I am always at my desk like all the time, and I took a 4-day vacation, and it was the morning I left. I was on a plane, and that's when they announced it, and it went to 2 mil. And I was on a plane, and I round-tripped it all.
Yeah, I think my biggest fumble, and it's actually really sad, is that I don't know if you remember when they were voting for the mayor's dog of New York City.
Yeah.
I called in chat when it was 15K on Potion. I said, yo, guys, this is going to be, this is the one that's going to win, and let's just all go vote and make sure. And it was Simon. And I buy like 10, 15% of the coin. I wake up the next day and like I burned my port, so I was like, damn, I just need some money to trade new pairs, so I sell it. Just like because I wasn't sure how long it was going to be. The next day they announce it, and it goes to like 35 million.
Wow.
And I fumbled like retirement. I did the same thing on Eagle. I did the same thing on Eagle. That Pioneer.
Oh my god, Eagle coin.
I was top
I
holder.
hate that coin.
I was
Really?
top holder of the one with the Eagle emoji, yeah.
I had like 10 soul at 40k on that coin, and then I sold it because my friend was trolling me. Like he bought after me, so I wanted to dump on him as a troll. So I dumped on him, and then it went to 40 mil.
I was a new trader at the time, so I had never really been up a lot on a coin like that, and I was up like the second the coin bonded, it went to like 150k, and I was like, oh my god, I'm up like $5,000, $10,000, and I just full clipped. I was just too excited. Wow. And then it just went straight up, and it kept going up, and it kept going up. You know, lessons learned, right? And then now we look back and we wish the market was like that. But I mean, shit, dude, you just made an M4 comp yesterday, so market must be good.
Yeah, it's okay. Could be better.
Definitely could be better. So if you could talk to yourself back, like when you first started trading, and give yourself like one piece of advice that you think would help, what would you give yourself?
Well, the obvious one is like just don't give up. Like just keep going, because eventually, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. Like, you will become good eventually. Right. But that's, like, kind of obvious. Other than that, honestly, the journaling and keeping track of every trade really helps me.
Right. So just...
I journaled... I look back at that journal, like, fairly often, just to see, like, how I was thinking back then. And it's honestly, it's really cool to do.
You're not sitting here being reactive all the time. You like, and just seeing something and acting, you're, like, putting brain power into like understanding your actions and then the market's actions, and then you're kind of developing, like, a lot of people call it like instinct, or like you know, when you kind of have a gut feeling, but what it really is that you just understand the market more than other people because you spend more time dissecting it, and so things become more clear and obvious quicker, and you can make decisions on them more comfortably with size and right. So
yeah, honestly, back then, nowadays I don't really think very much, but back then yeah, I tried to do more thinking. So
to the people who are just getting started, as Orangey says, in trading, or maybe they just started but they've been having a lot of like losses and it's been stressing them out, what's a piece of advice that you can give to that person?
Honestly, just stare at your screen for like a week before you take any trades, because but like don't just stare at it, like proactively do things, like look at coins, see like, oh, okay, if I had money I would buy this here, and then you see what would happen, you see why it went up, why it went down. Just try and like understand what a narrative is and why things go up, why things go down. And honestly, not getting paid for this, but even when I was like a good trader, I would still watch like every single Orangey video. I still sometimes go back and watch them just to see, because even if you think you know what you're doing and like you know more than this person or you're better than this person, it's still good to get a different person's perspective, because obviously like the Orangey, the people he interviews are very accomplished, so
yeah, and we're
seeing their perspective is market.
So it's like,
yeah, exactly,
like people only really understand their own perspective, and this is something that like a lot of people haven't really had the growth to understand, is, you know, what other people are seeing could be a completely different like ballpark of reality of what you think you're seeing. And so like just getting an understanding of like everybody else's perspectives sometimes helps you predict movement also, which can, you know, make you a stronger trader, which I definitely think is huge. Things have changed, right? Because, you know, we had like a bunch of different metas. When I first started, it was literally just cats and dogs. And I remember it moved from cats and dogs to community memes on telegrams, then to pump fund comment stuff. Then it moved from that straight to the most ridiculous meta, which was just AI stuff. Yeah. You know, that was really difficult. Some people were AI goats. Some people struggled really hard, like myself. And then after AI meta, I mean, we started going into shock, and like so many different metas came out so fast, it's hard to even pick which one's relevant. I think the mooting and peanut one's probably the most notable. But now where we're at, what do you do now? Like at the current market, are you just scalping new pairs? Are you buying conviction plays like mid cap, high cap with size? What's your bread and butter now in current market?
Not gonna lie, I don't like losing money, and the only way to not lose money is to not put in a lot of money, because then you cap what you can lose, obviously. So I like buying things low and selling them high, obviously, but it's like I trade low caps, but then obviously if there's like let's say something's at 5 mil and fucking Elon tweets a CA, obviously I'm still gonna buy it, but it's like, it's just, I don't like staying in things for a long time. I don't like going to sleep with things in my wallet, unless it's like something I'm attempting to front run or whatever.
Right, of course, you know, and if you have like super conviction and you just understand it, like at that level where it's just obvious you need to get in.
Yeah.
Right, kind of like earlier yesterday when, you know, I guess we can talk a little bit about that, where you're watching CT Tracker and you see Citadel post that tweet where basically they're saying, They didn't even drop the entire name of the website. They just said GFM, which your education and understanding of the market, you knew immediately that was GoFundMe. So you went to GoFundMe immediately seeing the tweet off tracker, and you were able to front run an entire project within like a 1 second time to do so. And you were rewarded with, you know, a $70,000 cook from it. You know, even if you were staring at CT tracker and you were locked in, if you didn't have your experience, right, you wouldn't have been able to pull that off, right? Like, it's just something that you'd have to have understood what was going on in that moment.
Yeah, very true. So that was very weird. But so I knew that Citadel Wolf had made a coin before and it went like 50 mil because they were talking about group chats and I remember it from a while ago, right?
Yeah.
And I knew that if he were to launch again, it'd be on GFM. So I saw he posted CA. I copied it, put it into my Photon, and nothing came up. So I was like, okay, probably means it's not migrated yet. So I went to GFM, put in the CA, and then he bought 28 SOL of the 30 SOL bonding curve. So I filled it, and then went back and then bought it on my main wallet once it filled at like 20K.
Yeah, and then we all watched what happened after that. You printed hella money. It was really cool, and honestly, you know, PSP game is game. Congratulations for that. You know, that's kind of the plays that we aspire to hit. That's like when you're in the trenches all day, that's exactly what you're trying to hit, and you hit that.
That is always the goal, yeah.
Because it was really cool to see that happen in 4K. You know, I watched a couple of people in our mutual group make like 6 figures on trades yesterday. I think there was like 3 of them.
Yeah,
I think Wiley cooked really hard. I'm pretty sure Waddles cooked really hard. You know, everybody's just been printing, so it's cool to see volume is here. And it almost seems like now if there's something that's good, instead of everybody sniping new pairs, everybody just giga apes whatever looks like it's going to run. And you get these crazy swings. And if you have size in it early, you can just scalp 50 to 150, 250 SOL. And, you know, within 2-3 minutes, which is like the dream, right?
Yeah. And we're just waiting for the big runner to spawn.
So
that's all anyone wants.
What would you say is your favorite? Did you have like a favorite wallet that you track?
Favorite wallet? Honestly, would have to be Cupsy.
Yeah, Cupsy. Just because he's in everything that's even a little bit decent, so you can just look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes he buys like a bunch of dog shit, and it's like, okay, he's buying it to make 0.5 and move on. But sometimes, you know, he buys really good things really early. But honestly, the best wallets to track are if you notice, like a lot of coins that are like, oh, this person found this thing on YouTube, or this person found a wallet from this guy deployed. It's like, when people find it, they always use the same bundle wallets. So it's free money if you track those wallets to get the first transactions, right, and then buy after them because then you're gonna they buy and then they're gonna
the post or the narrative, right?
Exactly. Before they spread the narrative, you're already in. So that's honestly the freest money, but yeah.
Yeah, so you're always on the lookout for that. You add those wallets to your repertoire. And how important do you think wallet tracking is?
I mean, I know some people don't do it at all, but to me, I mean, it really just depends on your trading style, right? I'm not a big, like, I don't sit here and stare at new pairs all day. Normally I'm just kind of chilling, and then like I'll do it for like 30 minutes and then whatever, but I'm always looking at my tweet tracker because obviously everyone does that. And wallet tracker is also good because if you notice a lot of people buying something, normally means a lot of the good trenchers agree this is something good.
It's that confluence is what they call it, right?
Yeah, which sometimes it's not good to buy on top of everyone because
then you're the method.
They will. Then you're the method, exactly.
Yeah, bro.
But it's still very helpful.
One day. Right. But the thing is like I feel like from November to January, February, you could gamble a lot more in print than you could now. But there's still good volume now. It's just that like the traders are more educated, so they're not blasting stupid shit either. And so it's just like I feel like the good traders are still making money, but the bad traders need to take a step back and start really, you know, leveling up to match because they're just gonna get fried.
Yeah, it's very different obviously than back then, like November, January, just because it's a lot more of let's say there's a pool of 100 people who are all trading against each other, and then it was those 100 people are all trading against these new people who came in with a boatload of money to just blast everything, so all the trenchers would be making a lot of money and it was a lot easier. But now it's just kind of, when there's no volume, it's the same people exchanging money. It's the best people take money from the worst people.
Exactly. When you started this, did you really believe that you were going to be where you are today, like the day that you started? Or did you just like want it really bad and you were hopeful? Or did you like say, I know I'm going to fucking do this? Like, what was your mindset when you started?
Well, honestly, when I first started, it was like I started like anyone else, you know, I put a couple SOL in, I bought rugs every day, bought like the scam volume charts, you know, how everyone does when they first start. and it's you just try and learn, you keep learning. And obviously when I first started, I didn't think, yeah, I'm gonna have all this money in 6 months. But it's like I switched the flip the switch, yeah, in my head, and I started really taking it serious with journaling and keeping track of my trades, and only buying things I thought were really good. Then I knew I would eventually make a lot of money as long as the market like stayed around. But no one could predict like how good January would be, or how like even February was still really good.
It's not even luck, because like luck only happens if you're ready for it, right? So you were prepared for it because you were studying, as Luke Belmar says. You had been studying. you're locked in, and you're basically ready to take advantage of that opportunity. So now you're where you are. We don't have to say how much money you've made in trading, but you've made a good amount of money trading. You're young. What are your goals now? Just make as much money from this? Are you going to rotate into properties? Are you going to start another company? Like, trying to travel for the next couple of years? Like, what's your goal?
Well, I was in school for the first semester of this school year. So technically I'm taking this semester off. It's like in November and December and all those, like back then I was still in school, and now I took 6 months off. But I don't think there'll ever be this free money ever again, right?
Yeah.
Just because there's never been anything like this. So I may as well...
Gold rush, right? Like,
yeah, I may as well take as much as, like, spend all day, every hour on this now, regardless of, I should be like diversifying or networking or all this stuff. I may as well capitalize on this now, and then when it's not as profitable and there's not as much volume coming in, then I can, I've already like started taking money out, obviously, and investing in properties and all that. But then I can start looking like, what do I want? Now I have all this money. So money is in theory freedom. So now I can not go to school if I don't want to. I can travel if I want to. I can start a business and have money to fall back on if it fails, and then try again, and then try again.
Get that freedom, just freedom and security, right? Have you like given your parents like a car or like a bunch of money or anything like that, or do you have any plans to do something like that?
When they need stuff, I get them. Like they'll never ask, but like if I notice something, or I want to buy them something, or I want to give them money, I'll do it. And obviously they're very appreciative.
Yeah, cool. And just like one day, maybe fucking when you get that 10 mil P&L, everybody gets the Lambos,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you said that this is limited opportunity. You're trying to, do it every single day until it's gone. I remember I had a conversation with Cupsy not too long ago. We're chilling in VC, just yapping at 2 a.m. And I was asking him about, because, obviously he's in the situation he's in. He's so young and he's so successful. I was like, what are your goals and why do you take this so seriously when you kind of already made it? And he told me, he's like, every single day I give up, I get up and I give everything I have, because I know this is a limited time opportunity. I know it won't last. And I do not want to, at the end, have a single regret that I didn't give it everything I had while it was here. So until it's over, he's gonna get up every day and trade until the day is over. And it doesn't matter how much money he's made, until it's done, he's not done. And it's just like, you see people like that, those are the people that make it. They just...
Yeah, I've asked him the exact same question I asked him, and I was like, let's say you were only making, like right now he's making tens of thousands of dollars a day on average, and it's a bad month for him, right? And I asked him, let's say you were to wake up and every day you would make on average $1,500, which is 10 sol, and you would have to sit there all day, every day. And he said he would still do it forever, regardless of how much money he has, which is just crazy dedication. But then if you think about it in terms of like real life, $1,500 a day as a job is insane. That's like, $500K a year?
Yeah, and you're
so
in school.
It's really all in perspective.
Do you work a job like a 9 to 5 or not even?
No, well, I was in school, and then I did NFTs, so I had a little bit of money from that, and then obviously, no, never had to.
That's inspirational for all the young people out there who are about to graduate high school and they're terrified of going to the 9 to 5. I mean, I worked 9 to 5 most of my life. I was in a good position to have like a low stress job where I was doing IT, and I was able to work like hybrid remote, so I could stay home sometimes, play video games, get paid like $60K a year, and I was relatively content. But it was still, a never-ending cycle of like I get paid 30 days and my money's gone, and I don't have anything to go on trips or to buy extra stuff. And I think a lot of people dread that. And so things like meme coins and these once-in-a-lifetime gold rush opportunities, I think are huge. And people like you who not only are success stories, but you're still out there doing it every single day. It's just good to get, have this moment to interview you and talk to you and, pick your brain. I think that you inspire a lot of people you probably don't realize that you do. And, as you become more successful, obviously you're on Docs now. Do you have any plans of ever like starting a personal brand and doxing in the future, moving away from crypto and maybe doing something else? Or do you think you're just going to be anonymous for your life? And if you did start something, it would be under your government and nobody would know that it's you from crypto. Like, where's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I've heard the stories of people who have money in crypto being targeted in real life because they're a lot easier to rob than other people. So I think to anyone who's not like a very close friend of mine, I'm just gonna stay anonymous because I don't want to dox. I don't want to do content. I'd rather just, I do my crypto and then I do my real life, and they're kind of separate.
Nice, yeah, man, and that's good. I think it's good to know what you want. Me personally, like I was always doxing gaming, and so like when I switched into crypto, I was like, I'm already fucking doxed. Like,
yeah.
And then like Orange used doxed, and so we just make IRL content. Obviously there's threats here and there, but if you're just like mindful of where you are and how you're moving and like, walking around in certain areas with certain amounts of money, like you're not gonna really have any issues. But it's definitely a danger, and it's definitely something to be aware of. I think the benefit of having a personal brand is how you take, millions of dollars to hundreds of millions, like Luke Belmar.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you even really need to make that? And at what point do you I feel like being rich and not known is like the best, because then you can go out and go to a restaurant, walk the streets, no one knows who you are, and you don't have to stress. Like, I was hanging out with Luke Belmar and everybody, and we were just walking around the mall, and every 4 seconds, groups of people were freaking out and running to us, like cameras in the face, like, yo, can I interview, please? We were walking down the road, cars were slamming on their brakes, pulling up next. Oh my god, it's Luke Belmar, my freaking god! Like, I've never seen anything like that. Like, if I had to live with that, it would be very stressful. So I understand why, like, it's just not even really worth it.
Yeah, it's the mix of you want to have money, but you don't want to, like, some people want to be famous, and at least they think they want to be famous until if they get famous, then it ends up like that, and they can't even go outside without being, like, recognized, asked for pictures, and hassled, and all of that.
Yeah. Another question for you outside of meme coins, like, what's your take on like fitness and health? Like, do you care about fitness and health at all? Do you drink enough water every day? Like, are you watching your food? You go to the gym? Like, or you don't really focus on that stuff at all? Trenches is the most important thing, and that's all that matters.
Well, I try to get my water in. I try and eat relatively healthy most of the time. But before meme coins, I'd go to the gym like 6 times a week. But it was very hard to, like, I thought about it like as an opportunity cost. I don't know if that's the right word, but let's say I go to the gym for an hour. Like, this is like prime market, like November to February. Even now, I go to the gym for an hour, and there's a 5% chance that a 10 mil runner spawns, and there's then a 15% chance I buy that 10 mil runner, and then there is a even lower chance I hold it. But that minuscule chance, is it worth that 1 hour at the gym?
Yeah.
And in my head, the answer is no, because that money is like, in the perspective, it doesn't even compare. So I stopped going for whatever the past 4 or 5 months, but I still, like, I walk my dog, I eat well, I drink water, I try and go to I go like twice a week at this point. But
yeah, you're still conscious of it, and it's still a priority, but you're just making that choice. You kind of weighed it in your head, like, what's more important for you at this time in your life, and you decided, the financial freedom, and this is like, I can go to the gym anytime, I can't make money forever, right? So
yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, that just about wraps it up. Is there anything that you want to say to all the people that are watching? Any words of advice or just a motivational quote, or maybe you just want to shit talk them and tell them that they're mid. Anything that you want to say to these guys that are watching?
No, honestly, you covered everything. Thank you for having me.
Dude, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here, man. And honestly, like, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to you over the next couple months of this market. And if you're ever chilling with me in Orangey IRL, it's gonna be super sick. So yeah, man. Gonna talk to you later, brother. Have a good rest of your day, man. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.